Okay, so Corey, what are your thoughts on dating your best friend's ex?
Well, if some that's kind of like the guy code thing, and you don't just go date your best friend's ex.
But you had a connection.
So if you have a connection and they're no longer together and it is definitely over and he's trying to move on or he has moved on, she's moved on or is trying to move on and you have a connection, the honorable thing to do, the guy code thing to do should be, hey, your girlfriend asked me out. Your ex girlfriend asked me out the other day, and I always thought she was cool, but she's your ex, and so guy code says I gotta come talk to you about it. And I'd like to take her out, but I'm only gonna take her out as long as you're cool with it. There's no chance you guys are gonna get back together. And plus, on top of that, I want your blessing. Because if I don't have your blessing, I'm not gonna go out with her. If you're like, no, dude, that's not cool. It's like, all right, I'll tell her no.
Mhm. And what if like you guys are like always in the same friend group and there's like a weird tension? Like, what are you gonna do then?
Well, same thing. He's gotta give permission.
He can give permission, but then if you guys are all planning to go to like the bar and your girlfriend wants to come, and you're like, okay, my girlfriend's coming, and then the guy's there, it's just like,
Well, if he gave his blessing, then it won't bother him.
wouldn't it be weird though? There's still that little
I've
weirdness.
done that a lot. I've had my ex-wife. I set her up with friends of mine. She dated one of my high school buddies for a couple of years, and this was going back about 20 years ago, and this is probably 5 6 years post divorce, and they'd been dating for like a year, and I had no idea. And my friend kept it from me because he was worried that I'd be pissed off. And my friend Sean, who was Mike's brother, younger brother, we were hanging out. I was down in Fort Lauderdale visiting, and he's like, "Hey, so and so is dating your ex-wife." I was like, "Cool." I was like, "How long have they been dating?" He's like, "A little over a year." I was like, "Why didn't he tell me?" He says, "Well, he thought you'd be pissed off." I was like, "Pissed off? I'm happy for them both. I love both of them." I was
Mm.
like, "What are they doing? Let's get together." And so that night, the four of us went to Solid Gold.
Weird.
We went to Solid Gold together, and then we went to Denny's
It's a good idea.
and caught up. So it wasn't a big deal for me. And there were other girlfriends, same thing. We would go out on double dates where I had an ex girlfriend there with her new boyfriend and me and my girlfriend.
Weird.
No,
I always felt so like so weirded out like in high school when you would always see that friend group that they literally all dated each other and they're like the bestest of friends. I'm just like, okay, you guys, that's your thing, that's cool, but I could never, literally.
I mean, sharing is caring, but
Hey, you
also,
keep it all in the family.
Yeah.
right?
And then
Or they've just figured out that that person wasn't the right person for them, and they're all such a good group of friends that they're okay with it, you know? Um,
or I've also seen where like the part of the friend group, like let's say two couples, they were dating, right? And then few later, like years later, we're all in college, we're all grown ups now. Now they swapped. and they
Wife
have
swapping.
and one has like a children with that one and they're just together. I'm just like, that is
I've actually had something similar happen, not to me, but in this case, it was a bit nasty because it was two of my best friends. One of them had been dating this guy for a few years, and same with the other one. And after they broke up with their significant others, a little after my other best friend and my best friend's ex, they got together. But in their case, it's a little different because one of my friends, she was not really happy over the fact that they got together so quickly. So she suspects that there was cheating involved before.
yeah, like they were probably like looking at each other during that
they were
whole
probably
little.
communicating.
They had
Yeah.
really good
They
chemistry,
probably
let's
were
just say.
attracted when they were just
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, they had
Like,
good
weird.
chemistry, let's just say, throughout those years. So that's what caused her to have those suspicions. But I think it really depends on the person and the situation. Like, if it looks very clear and coincidental that there is some suspicion that there might be cheating, I would understand that. But I just think it depends on the person, really. But I do think it's a very efficient and better idea to ask that person for permission, because at the end of the day, if you really value them as friends, you would ask them. Because it's one of those things where it's like, my friends over you kind of thing. I know that sounds really bad, but that's what I would do. I would ask for permission.
Yeah, the most mature way is to ask, like, if it's okay, get the right away, and
Guy code.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask for permission, but also, what if you don't get the permission?
I feel like
Then when she's like, we should go out anyways, I was like, you got to talk to Bob. He says no, so he's my best friend.
what if you're really kicking it off with her, and you're like, damn.
But what if it's like from a
The
girl?
thirst is real, babe. Well,
Like a
you better
girl
call Bob
standpoint.
up, and you better sweet talk him, and you better do what it takes to get him to give us
You would
our
keep it
blessing.
solid like
I
that?
have to. Bros before hoes.
Those are my favorite type of people then, because there's
Bros
people who
before
just
hoes.
wouldn't care.
With no morals. Yeah.
Sisters before misters, but there's some sisters that really don't
Just
care.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.